Well, hello there, girls. I was going to say guys and girls, but there's probably no guys here in this masterclass today. We are enjoying another baking hot day in Belfast. Let me just fix my microphone. Another baking hot day here in Belfast. Well, baking for us, it's kind of in the 90s, which is really hot for Belfast. And so we're all sweltering here in the office. So you have to bear with me if I look like I'm perspiring. I'm actually wearing my jumpers because I was riding this morning with a what would you call this? A sports bra. So, and if I start to get shiny during the presentation, that is why. So I just wanted to pop on 5 minutes early and say hello so we can get started right on time. Oh my goodness, do I have an amazing masterclass for you today. Yeah, it really is going to be pretty spectacular. So let me just say a few hellos. There's Kimberly Clark is here. Kimberly, so good to see you. She says, I'm feeling behind and this is the first one I'm actually on time too. Woohoo! Well, I'm glad you're on time because you are going to love this masterclass. It's going to be absolutely epic. Okay, who else is here? We have Eagle is here from Florida. I think it's Eagle. I hope that's how you pronounce it. We have Wendy Woods here from Oregon. We have Aisha is here as well. We have Tracy Caravetos, great name, is here as well. They're the only ones who have said hello thus far, but the numbers of attendees are climbing and climbing. Do you know what's been amazing? We had like 630, I think, people register for these master classes, which was like, whenever people were asking me like, how many do you think you'll sell? I was like, oh, you know what? This is really just for our members. You know, I reckon we'll probably do about 300, 400. And then I thought, well, yeah, I would love 500, but I think we'll do 300 or 400. I never expected to sell like 630 of them. It's just been phenomenal. And I hope you guys have really enjoyed them as much as I've enjoyed teaching. I know that, just learning information isn't, everybody wants strategies. Everyone wants like the shred and the meal plans and all of those things. But with these master classes, it really is just learning. But for me, like one of the things that has helped me to literally transform my body is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Reading, listening, learning, soaking it all up. That is what has given me the best chance of success because anyone can buy a program and not follow it, which given that we've sold 180,000 of them in 4 years, and there's not 180,000 shredded people walking around the world, it shows me that anyone can buy a program and not follow it. But whenever you really cement what you know or what you're learning with information such as I'm teaching in these master classes, that is when the success really happens. So I just want to say before we get started, that I'm so proud of each and every one of you, and it has been an absolute privilege to teach you here this week. I haven't taught live in, I don't know when the last time I taught live was. I think it was like 2020 maybe, and in the Sculpted Vegan. I think the last time was September 2020 was the last time I taught live. I've taught live in the $1 Million Mentor, but not in the Sculpted Vegan. And I've really enjoyed it. It's been an honor and a privilege. And it's been so good to see so many of your names here as well. Like we have people who have literally purchased every program who are so loyal to the Sculpted Vegan. And that means so, so, so much to me because I promise you, I don't take what I do lightly. I don't take the responsibility lightly. And I genuinely value each and every one of you, but especially those long-term customers who truly have like purchased everything. That's why I was able to call out Kimberly in the beginning, but like Kimberly, she is a long-term Sculpted Vegan fan and follower and is constantly working on herself and making progress and doing amazing things. So I love seeing those names pop up. Okay. Let me see who else is here. Oh, Wendy is saying, I have made all 4 classes. That is absolutely amazing, Wendy. I am so happy for you. Let's say a few. I'm so pleased. I was like, I'm so happy for you. I'm really, really pleased that you've made all 4. That is an achievement in and of itself with everything we have going on. Right, so let's say a few more hellos before we begin. So we have, I said hello to Kimberly and to Anita and Eagle. And Wendy and Aisha and Tracy and Cynthia is here as well. And Susan Schaefer is here saying hello from New Jersey. 2 mornings, 30 grams of protein for breakfast. What a game changer. Woo! I'm proud of you, Susan. We have Deborah Fritas here saying good morning. We have Audra in Florida. We have Binu from Texas. Nice to see you. Is it Binu? Yes, Binu. We have Darlene from Victoria in Canada. Hi, Kim, and all you lovely ladies. Michelle is saying, hi, Michelle. Good morning, Queen. Joanne is saying, one of our beautiful coaches in Sculpted Vegan. Hi, Joanne. Nice to see you or hear you or just see your name. You know what I mean? We have Kelly Robinson is here, and Anita is here as well. Hi, Anita. So good to see you. Another one of our long-term Sculpted Vegan followers. We have Linda is here as well from Toronto. She says, I'm loving these classes. Linda, we are loving having you there. Melissa is asking for more seitan recipes to be posted by Lee on the Facebook page. I will ask Lee. Lee has actually perfected the chicken one. It is so much better now than he used to do it. So I will ask him for, in fact, Maya, will you ask Lee for his new, Maya is sitting, that's going to turn around, let you see Maya, you ready? Like, this is where Maya sits.
Hello, everyone.
There she is. What have I knocked over? That's all right, just knocking shit over here. So there's the lovely Maya sitting in front of me. Just a wee bit of the behind the scenes. And then the rest of the team, actually I'll go this way so you can see what's behind the scene. So the rest of the team are kind of spread out through that door. Ignore the mess in the office. And yeah, so Maya's going to ask Chef Lee for the new seitan recipe that he has just made, because it is absolutely amazing. It is the best one he's ever done. So I'll get that over to you. No problem at all. Okay, Aisha is saying, I've watched each class twice so far. I'm an overachiever. Here, you got your overachiever hat on. I'm proud of you. Excellent. We have MB Denny is here. She says, how do I say hi? Hi, Mary Beth. You are saying hi. You've figured it out. Well done, you. We have Kelly is here from Boston. Let me see. Oh, and also Mary Beth is asking, how do we take part in the chat? Where is that? You're in the chat, but you can't see anybody else's chat. I can see yours. The moderators can see yours, but you can't see anyone else's, just for privacy. Jenna's saying, it's been wonderful. I'm so happy. Let me see. I have made, oh yes, Wendy was saying all 4 classes live. I love these classes, and I really do miss the Queen classes. Wendy, I know you are another long-term fan and follower and purchaser of the Sculpted Vegan. It's like, take all my money. And I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I really have loved teaching them. Salanda is here as well. Hi, Salanda. We have Jennifer Post is here. Hello, Jennifer. Bonjour from Montreal. Angelique, bonjour, ça va? We have Heather is saying she loves all the programs. Heather, thank you so much. I love that you're here. And Janice says she's been here for all 4 classes too. We have Sharon from New Hampshire. We have Janice Willis from California. Solanda's from Washington. We have Lori here as well from beautiful British Columbia. Hello, Lori. And we have Karen Woods from the UK. Hi, Karen. Good to see you again. And we have Jenna Blassie, again, another one of our long-term Sculpted Vegan followers. Oh, sorry. She says, hello from Sedona in Arizona. And Sam is saying, hello again. Love listening to you, Kim, from sunny Oxfordshire. I'm effing starving. Haha. Well, you should go and eat, because there's nothing worse than being starving. Right. I'm going to fly through some more names, and then we're going to start because we're already 2 minutes over. Mariella is here from Houston. Casey's saying, yay, more seitan. We have Lisa. We have Andrea. She says, it's an absolute privilege to be here. Finally, somebody cares enough to educate themselves and share this precious knowledge with us. Thank you. It has been amazing all week. Well, thank you for saying that. That touches my heart. I really appreciate it. Maureen is here, and we have Sam Palmer and Sharon. We have Rosanna. She says, my first webinar of the series, so happy to be here. I'm so excited that you're here, and this is a great one. You are going to love it, but definitely go back and watch the replays, because there is so much information there that we've been building on each week. So absolutely go back and watch the replays. Karen is here, and Valeria and Helen and Roberta and Andrea and Amy and Joan and Janice and Kimberly and Catherine and Jacqueline and Martha and Sedona and so many more that I can't even say. Oh, let me call it before. Okay, Diane and Carol and oh, I did this one yesterday as well. Daya Islam, I think, hopefully. And Roxanne and Martha and Carol and Sedona saying good morning, Kim. And I think you guys are all having a wee chat, so your names are coming up twice. Okay, guys, we are, oh, Natalie from Wakefield, just snuck in there at the very end. Right, I'm going to close my chat now so I can't see you all, because that's just going to distract me. No, actually, I'm not going to close it yet, because I need to actually put the thing on. I need to put the what is it called? The slideshow. Yeah, that thing that I'm going to teach from, the slideshow. Need to put that on. Okie dokie. So let me just share my slideshow with you. Where are we? Here we are. Sharing, show, Google Chrome. And then I'm going to put this onto a slideshow. And then Maya's going to confirm with me. She can see me and the slideshow. Excellent. Right, guys. So I had very sneakily marketed this final masterclass to you as how to lose 5 pounds in 48 hours. That's exactly what I'm going to teach you today, how to lose 5 pounds in 48 hours. And today we are going to talk about bloating. So at the end of today's masterclass, you are going to have all of the strategies to lose 5 pounds of water weight in 48 hours. But we're going to discuss bloating because it is literally like an epidemic that is sweeping the nation at the minute, sweeping the world. But it is even worse in menopause, can be even worse in menopause. And we've all suffered from bloating around our period and our menstrual cycle. And today I'm going to break down and tell you exactly why it happens, what the different types of bloating are, and what you can do about it. Are you ready? Okay, so let's go. In menopause, there are 3 reasons why women struggle to eliminate bloating and get rid of water retention. Okay. Oh, do you know what? Do you know what I did? I actually had reasons 1, 2, and 3 in, and then I decided I wasn't going to turn them into reasons 1, 2, and 3 when I was creating this. So I took out the 1, 2, and 3. So there are not 3 reasons why women struggle in menopause. Let's just ignore that because I forgot to change the slide. And we're just going to say in women in menopause, there are many reasons why women struggle to eliminate bloating and get rid of water retention. Okay, let's go. Bloating. Bloating in perimenopause and menopause is the result of 2 problems. No, start again. Are you ready? Maya's pissing herself laughing. Bloating in peri and menopause is the result of problems with 2 major systems of the body. And it all starts with cleaning up the liver. Now, anyone who has followed me for any length of time will know that I am very passionate about the liver, and for very good reason, which I'm going to explain. The liver is the body's major fat burning organ and fat regulator. When the liver is fatty, sluggish, or overloaded with toxins, it cannot effectively balance your hormones. Now, I'm going to go back to the chat frequently throughout this masterclass. Tell me in the chat if you knew this. Tell me if you knew that your liver was responsible for balancing your hormones in your body. Or if you're like, Kim, mind blown, this is completely new to me. I did not know this information. Just tell me in the chat. Eating the wrong types of food will cause your liver to make more fat so that you keep on storing it in adipose tissue. As we have learned in this masterclass series, it's not how much you eat that's important, it's what you eat. So your liver is responsible for making fat and burning fat, okay? So your liver is literally fat central. Everything that goes anywhere in your body passes through the liver first. Now, I have been teaching, if this is your first masterclass, you won't have heard me say it, but I've been teaching the whole way through this. This is what I want you to take away. It's not what makes it into your stomach that's important, it's what makes it into your bloodstream. Okay, so what I've been teaching for those of you who are only joining today for the first time, it's not what makes it into your stomach, what food makes it into your stomach that is important for calorie input. It's what makes it into your bloodstream, because not everything that makes it into your stomach makes it into your bloodstream. We're going to talk a lot more about this today. So if you eat a whole head of broccoli, 80% of that broccoli is fiber. Fiber cannot be broken down and passed through the bloodstream. It must be passed through to the large colon for fermentation. So whenever you eat a whole head of broccoli, you feel full, but you're not absorbing a huge amount of calories because only 20% of the broccoli actually makes it into the bloodstream as calories. And it's only what makes it into the bloodstream gets stored as fat or used as glycogen, okay? Non-alcoholic fatty liver affects 20 to 40% of Americans. I'm gonna say it again because that's an astounding amount. Non-alcoholic fatty liver. What is non-alcoholic fatty liver? Well, you can get fatty liver caused by, obviously being an alcoholic or drinking too much alcohol. It really does affect the liver very negatively. But if you are overweight at all, even a little bit, you have fatty liver. You have liver, you don't have liver, you have fat in your liver, okay? This is very, very, very bad. You're gonna find out why. Non-alcoholic fatty liver affects 20 to 40% of Americans and is the cause of a whole host of health-related problems. When you are overweight, you will store fat in your liver. When your liver is fatty, it cannot effectively do its job of balancing your hormones and burning fat. Can I get an amen? Like, seriously, you're like, oh, hopefully you're saying like, oh my God, right. So if I so can you see the vicious cycle that's coming out here? I eat too much or I don't eat the right foods. I'm overweight, right? And especially in menopause, my body wants to create insulin resistance in my cells to divert more energy to fat stores, to create more fat stores, to create more estrogen. So, but then that's also giving me a fatty liver. So my liver can't burn fat effectively because it has too much fat in it. It's a vicious cycle. A fatty or toxic liver actually causes an hormonal imbalance in the body. The liver regulates the balance of hormones. It transforms or removes any excess hormones from the body. If cortisol levels rise, estrogen falls because cortisol and estrogen balance each other. The liver, when working efficiently, can clear cortisol from the blood to allow estrogen to come back into balance. Menopausal women can also suffer from estrogen dominance despite estrogen levels falling. How? Okay, so let's pause here for a second and talk about the liver and cortisol and estrogen. And you know me, I never, like, when we're talking about bloating, like, I never just go straight to bloating. I like to really give you the whole science behind it. So we live in a fight or flight world, okay? We're constantly in fight or flight. We're constantly stressed. We're running from work to the house, to the kids, to here, to there. We've got deadlines. We've got stuff happening. There's phones ringing. There's all this stuff going on, right? So our adrenals are constantly pumping out cortisol. So because of that, there's loads of cortisol circulating around our blood. Now, your liver is so clever that as it's flushing through your blood, so your liver will process 1 pint of blood per hour or 2 pints of blood per hour whenever you are eating. So your liver's constantly flushing and cleansing your blood. If your liver recognizes there's too much cortisol in your blood, it starts to dump cortisol for excretion. I'm going to tell you how it does that later. It starts to dump cortisol. Okay. So too much cortisol, too much cortisol. So it starts like clean, like you dusting the cobwebs around your house, cleaning your house, cobwebs gone. That's what your body does with cortisol. If it can work efficiently and effectively. If your liver is fatty and you have too much fat in your liver, you're not taking care of your liver, it's overloaded with toxic substances, it's not going to be able to clear cortisol from the body. If it can't clear cortisol from the body, your body cannot balance your estrogen and cortisol levels. You'll see, make the sense. However, it also can work in the opposite way. Let's talk about that. Many women have what's known as estrogen dominance. Now, this is before perimenopause, after before you're anywhere near menopause. Okay, estrogen dominance can cause fibroids. It can cause all kind PCOS. It can cause all kinds of issues within the body. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to specifically look at menopause. So there are two main causes of estrogen dominance in peri and menopause. Number one, the ratio of estrogen to progesterone is off. This happens when you don't have enough progesterone to balance out the more aggressive hormone estrogen. I always loved it whenever I heard estrogen described as the aggressive hormone. And so progesterone, just for those of you who don't know, just as a wee side note, progesterone is actually the calming hormone. It's the hormone that makes you feel really good. And estrogen is the one that makes you feel a bit like a bitch. If you don't believe me, any of you who aren't on birth control will probably, because it does regulate your hormones, will probably notice. Like, I was sterilized 10 years ago. And so I very much know where I am in my monthly cycle, depending on what my mood is like. So it's funny, but like whenever my period is due, and you guys will understand this, for those of you who still have periods, let's just say I find it harder to regulate my happiness, as in like I find it harder to be happy. Yes. But whenever my period is gone, like, so I always get this with my husband, right? So my period is due and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, fuck, he's breathing too loud. Like, seriously, can you fucking breathe quieter, Or he'll be chewing and I'll be like, do you have to chew like that? Can you not just, and he'll be like, chew like what? I'm like, do you have to like chew like with your mouth open? Can you not close your mouth? It's like, dear God Almighty, what got into you, right? And then my period comes and I go, oh, my period is here. Oh, that's what it was. My period comes. And then literally, right, 1 day or 2 days after my period or during my period, I look at my husband and I go, oh, that's sexy the way he chews. Oh, listen to his lovely raspy breath. Isn't he so masculine? And I'm looking at him going, and that's because, right, progesterone is now starting to build again. And then mid-month, I'm like, I'm like all over him because progesterone is really high in my body, and that's the happy hormone, is the one that makes you feel good. And then after you ovulate, progesterone falls and estrogen takes over, and that's when you turn into a grumpy old bitch again. Okay, and everybody avoids you. That's how you can always remember estrogen and progesterone. So whenever you don't have enough progesterone to balance out the more aggressive hormone, estrogen, the problem becomes, or the problem occurs because as we age, progesterone starts dropping a lot faster than estrogen. This creates an imbalance between the two hormones, leading to estrogen dominance. So even though you're saying, but I'm in perimenopause, I'm menopause, like my estrogen levels are declining. Yes, your estrogen levels may be declining, but they're declining faster than progesterone. So if you were ever to look at this on a chart, you would see like the average 30-year-old woman, like she would have, estrogen here and progesterone here, and they would travel along like this. So progesterone is always a little less, estrogen always a little more, but they're pretty even, right? If you look at that as she ages on a chart, it'll go like this, right? Estrogen starts to decline, but progesterone will be on a much steeper decline. So by the time, they get to, kind of 45 or 50, progesterone is much lower than estrogen. So as that happens, estrogen becomes more dominant within the body. And there are a couple of things that actually makes it worse. But number two is how else this can happen is there's an issue with breaking down estrogen into clean and dirty estrogens. So the liver, right, is responsible for breaking down estrogen into smaller pieces as the first step in the process of eliminating metabolized or dirty estrogen. So your liver is actually responsible for recognizing, actually breaks estrogen down into 3 different components, and it eliminates the dirty estrogen and just keeps the good estrogen. Isn't your liver amazing? Like, I just love my liver, even though I do abuse it a little sometimes, just a little, not very often. Okay, often, but just a little. But if your liver is already taxed, i.e. fatty or filled with toxins, and therefore not able to break down the estrogens to eliminate them properly, it will generate too many dirty estrogens, so you'll experience estrogen dominance. This is why the health of the liver is so vital when you are experiencing estrogen dominance, or just in general, to be honest. Estrogen and progesterone work as balanced partners. They both play a role in fertility, in beauty, mood, overall health, and vitality. However, progesterone is really there to oppose estrogen, okay? So you just think about estrogen as being like, think about the story I told you, estrogen is always more dominant whenever you're about to, whenever you're not ovulating, whenever you're about to have your period. And progesterone, you always get a flood of progesterone whenever you're ovulating, okay? So estrogen is the angry hormone, okay? Estrogen is like the mad old bitch who just goes crazy every so often. And progesterone is the one going, there, it's okay, it's all good here. Shim is a bit crazy today, but actually we're all good here, I promise, because I'm here to calm her down. So that's like, the best friend of the angry girl who is just there to smooth things over and make it all good. That's what progesterone does. And you don't ever want these two to get really out of balance. So what does all this have to do with bloating? You're like, it's really interesting, Kim. Sure, you're going somewhere with this, so let's move on. Bloating and water retention in menopause can be caused by increased estrogen levels, estrogen dominance, or conversely, by decreasing estrogen, which slows down the process. Sorry, my phone is dinging. Which slows down the process of food passing through the digestive tract. When the digestive system takes longer, more water is reabsorbed back into the bloodstream, leading to constipation, gas, bloating, and water retention. So bloating and water retention can be caused by both estrogen dominance and estrogen falling. So either way, you're screwed. Quite simply. Unless you're not, because I'm going to give you some strategies at the end, which will like completely eradicate this. I literally never get bloated, even just before my period. I never get bloated. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm so water heavy. I just don't, because of how I eat and because of how I exercise, the amount of water that I drink. So I'm going to teach you how to do it too. When we eat, our liver cleans 2 pints of blood per hour. It sends excess hormones, cholesterol, and toxins to the gallbladder in the form of bile salts. The gallbladder then releases the bile salts into the digestive system when you eat. Eating excess hormones, toxins, and cholesterol, excess hormones, toxins, and cholesterol are carried away in your poop. If you are not pooping at least twice a day, I had 3 times a day in here because that's how many times I go, but I thought it might scare the shit out of you, so I decided not to reduce it to 2, which is fine. You risk these waste products being reabsorbed back into the bloodstream along with water. So you become more toxic and more bloated. So let's just pause here for a second and talk about this. I've got the sweaty upper lip happening because it's so warm in here. My hair's sticking to my back. So your liver, so how does your liver get rid of excess anything? It dumps it into the digestive system. You're supposed to be pooping 3 times a day. And interestingly, I used to teach this all the time in my yoga detox workshops. People used to love it. And they used to be like, whenever I taught it, your poop should be the length of your arm from your wrist to your elbow, okay? And the circumference of the circle when you place your nail into the crease of your finger. And I know you're all now going, like looking, and so you should be. Okay, that is the consistency of the perfect poop, and it should happen 2 to 3 times a day. I'm not even kidding. That's a sign of an efficient digestive system. If you do not have an efficient digestive system, it's like only emptying half of the trash in your house. We were talking about this earlier, actually, whenever we were chatting about this masterclass here in the office, and I was saying, imagine if you only took out half the trash every week. That's all you took out, just half. Well, pretty soon it would build up and build up and build up and build up. And that's what happens with your liver because you're not emptying your digestive system effectively. So how your liver gets rid of excess hormones is it draws them out of the blood and then it dumps them into bile salts. So bile salts are then sent to the gallbladder, and the gallbladder stores the bile salts until you eat. When you eat, because of course that's when things are going to move through your digestive system, hopefully. It's all right, Maya, just leave it. So when you eat, your gallbladder releases the bile salts into your digestive system in a flood, okay? And it's almost acts like washing up liquid. It breaks down fat and breaks down the substances in your liver or in your digestive system. But it also contains all of the excess toxins, the hormones, anything your body does not need, cholesterol, anything your body does not need gets dumped into the digestive system. And then you're supposed to be pooping 2 to 3 times a day, and that's carrying it all out. The problem is we don't eat enough fiber, we don't drink enough water, we don't do enough exercise, and so we're not pooping 2 to 3 times a day. So our body is only taking out half the trash. So what happens? Well, those hormones are dumped into your digestive system. They sit there in your poop, in your impacted colon for a long time, and as they sit there, they start to be reabsorbed back into the bloodstream along with water from your digestive system. Hello, bloating, okay? So water and hormones and toxins are all reabsorbed back into the bloodstream and sent back to the liver. And you know what the liver does? The liver goes, why are you here? I kicked you out hours ago. Like, why are you back? And they're like, sorry, nowhere to go. Like, couldn't get a taxi, so we're back here. So the liver then goes, well, okay, well, we can't get rid of you, so we're just going to have to store you. So what does the liver do with the toxins and with the hormones and all that stuff? It shoves them into fat store. And that's why whenever you start to burn lots of body fat, you start to get spotty and you can smell and you sweat and you have all those things. That's your body releasing toxins. So you can see how this whole system is so intricately balanced and each part so essential for the other in order to be able to balance your hormones and lead a healthy life, and conversely burn fat as well. If your liver's constantly trying to clean out recycled hormones and recycled toxins, it can't burn fat effectively. Whereas if you're not giving your liver a lot of work to do, then your liver's like sitting around going, okay, what am I going to do today? I know what I'm going to do. You know, like sometimes at home you go, I'm bored, what can I do? Right, I'm going to clean out that cupboard under the stairs. Well, I imagine your liver going, oh, right, I'm going to burn that belly fat. I'm going to get it today. That belly fat is not going to elude me because I ain't got nothing else to do. Okay, so stop making your liver work too hard. And if you don't make it work too hard doing other things it doesn't need to do, it will burn fat for you very, very effectively. But there are other major causes of bloating in menopause, okay? So here are some other causes of bloating in menopause. Dairy. Now, I know we are a vegan company, but many people here are not vegan. In fact, 70% of people who purchase my programs are not even vegetarian. So, which is great because I want to appeal to that market. But so we are going to talk about dairy. So many of us lose our ability to digest dairy products as we age because we stop producing the enzyme lactase. Your body stops producing lactase. I think it starts to decline after the age of 35. After 45, I think your body doesn't even have lactase anymore. If the milk sugar lactose cannot be broken down by lactase, it continues onwards towards the colon. Since bacteria can ferment lactose easily, they will produce a lot of gas when they encounter it. And the more lactose they are given, the more gas they will make. Large doses of lactose in the colon also attracts water through osmosis, which can also cause diarrhea. So a lot of people, like my father-in-law doesn't eat dairy anymore. My dad, who's 75, has stopped having dairy in his, his cereal or his tea or anything that he drinks. because he's just like, oh, I just can't have dairy anymore. Have you ever heard older people say, I just can't have dairy anymore? And I don't know why. Like, it's causing my mum, if she has dairy, she has really, really bad diarrhea. If she has it in any large quantities, like cream or anything like that, she gets really bad diarrhea. This is why, because large doses of lactose in the colon attracts water, which just then causes everything to become liquid and come out. So dairy is one of the worst forms of bloating. So if you're eating dairy, if you're eating butter or cheese or cream and milk are the worst, okay? But butter and cheese are also bad, but just because of how the casein, the whey and the casein have been separated to make cheese doesn't make it so bad. It's whey is the worst, okay? WHEY. Whey is absolutely the worst for causing bloating. So you want to avoid all dairy. Okay, so here's an absolute clinker for you, and I've talked about this a bit all week. Low calorie sweeteners. So low calorie sweeteners are also known as sugar alcohols, right? Low calorie sweeteners aren't absorbed in the small intestine and so travel onto the colon and are available for fermentation by the resident bacteria. They provoke the same symptoms of gas, bloating, and diarrhea as lactose and fructose intolerant, which we're going to talk about in a minute. In fact, some sugar alcohols are deliberately marketed as laxatives. The sugar alcohol sorbitol is largely responsible for the well-known laxative effect of prunes. So let's talk about low-calorie sweeteners for a second. Again, we were chatting about this earlier in the office. And the problem is with low-calorie sweeteners, it's mostly aspartame is the worst, or anything that ends with an ol. So sorbitol, xylitol, erythritol, what are the other ones? I can't even remember off the top of my head. But those ones are the worst. You know the way I've always said, it's not what makes it into your stomach, it's what makes it into your bloodstream that's important. The reason why you can eat or drink low calorie sweeteners and not have any calories from them is because they're not absorbed into the bloodstream, because they can't be broken down by the small intestine. They must be passed through to the large colon. However, the only way the large colon can break down the sugar alcohols is by fermenting them. So you will get gassy and bloated if you have low calorie sweeteners. And so many of the people are running around the world drinking Diet Cokes and sugar-free jellos and sugar-free this and sugar-free that and zero calorie this, and see these awful, god-awful monster drinks that people are drinking at the minute, like these zero calorie monster energy drinks. Like, seriously, nobody needs a bloody energy drink. If you drink that shit, you need to stop it right now, because it's leaching minerals from your bones to neutralize the effect of it. And you're a grown woman, for God's sake, so stop drinking teenager drinks. I'm really joking. So whenever you see overweight people, they're usually drinking a diet soda and they think that they're doing a good thing for their body. You know, they're having a gin and slimline. No, don't drink gin and slimline. Drink gin and full fat, okay? Low fat, low taste, I always say. So, but you have to stop drinking the diet stuff, because it's the diet stuff that's causing the bloating. So then overweight people complain about being bloated, but then they also complain about being overweight, but they also complain about being bloated. And they complain about being bloated because they're constantly stuffing themselves full of low calorie, zero calorie foods and drinks, thinking that they're helping, but they're not. They're just making the problem worse. It's shocking, isn't it? Okay, one of the other really bad things for bloating is fructose. Fructose is a sugar that's found naturally in certain fruits and sweeteners like honey and agave nectar. It's also found in all fruit, okay? It's also added to foods though, candy, soft drinks, etc., in the form of high fructose corn syrup. This is very commonly used in America. It's not very commonly used in the UK, but it is in America. Our bodies require, right, this is the clinker, our bodies require a special transporter in the small intestine to carry fructose from the digestive tract and into the bloodstream. A special transporter, right? They have their own special airplane to carry them through. But some people's intestines don't express very many of these transporters, leaving the excess amounts unabsorbed. The unabsorbed fructose travels onto the colon and provokes the same symptoms of gas, bloating, and diarrhea described above for lactose intolerance. So if you are drinking anything or eating anything with high fructose corn syrup in it, you are headed for a bloating disaster. A bloating disaster. Okay, two more. Fiber. Now, fiber is really good for you. I'm not saying don't eat it, but you just have to know why it can cause bloating. Fiber is a carbohydrate from a plant-based food that the digestive enzymes cannot break down to release its stored energy as calories. So basically, it's a very long-winded way of saying fiber can't be broken down in the small intestine. So it stays in the intestines and travels onto the colon, where it will eventually be pooped out. It doesn't have to be fermented though. That's a good thing. It's just like, have you ever eaten corn and then you've licked in your poop and you've seen it in your poop? That's why. If you're not eating enough fiber, then you'll struggle to have enough substance in your colon to provide regular, complete bowel movements. Remember I was talking about the whole head of broccoli? You eat a whole head of broccoli, only 20% of it is absorbed as calories and the rest goes through as poop. That's what keeps you super regular. That's what makes you go 3 times a day. My entire daily food intake is 80% of it is green cruciferous vegetables, salad, asparagus, spinach, broccoli, sometimes some seeds and nuts, and fiber makes up 80% of my diet. You have no idea, like it's huge. And I do eat a lot of protein as well, but very, it's always protein from plant sources. Now, here is the last one I want to leave you with. And I want you to, after this masterclass, I want you to go around all of your house and check any of your pre-packaged goods you have in the house for this ingredient, especially protein powder. Inulin, okay, not insulin, inulin. Inulin is a source of fiber that is a common additive to low-calorie foods, but is highly fermentable by the resident bacteria in your colon. Even if you are slightly backed up, all that gas is likely to get trapped and make your bloating worse, not better. So avoid low calorie wherever possible. So do you see what's happening here, right? People who are overweight try to eat low calorie everything, but low calorie everything contains everything that makes you bloated. And in menopause, it's even worse, which we're going to talk about in a minute, because estrogen stops your digestive system from working as effectively. So all of this is just compounded and you become a bloated, watery, gassy mess. Never mind a sweaty, sleepless, moody mess. Just add all this on top of it. But this can all be changed. This can all be completely eradicated by just changing how you eat. Okay, so how do you lose 5 pounds in 48 hours? Well, members of our program, or programs, should I say, have lost up to 5 pounds in 48 hours by following the principles taught here. Now, I have actually done this as well, believe it or not. I have stood on the scale as an experiment, okay, at different times during the month and different times during my cycle, and also different times, when I'm eating. Like I test all these strategies on myself. None of them are theory. It's all like self-tested. And I have literally gone from weighing, 68 kilos down to 65 kilos in a day, right? That's 3 kilos. That's 6.6 pounds in a day. Now, you can't lose 6.6 pounds worth of fat in a day, but you can lose 6.6 pounds worth of water weight. How do you do it? Number 1, eat beans, lentils, and cruciferous vegetables as carbs. Switching to slow carbs, which is what we teach in the menopause shred and in the menopause program and on that one pager we gave you, is a common strategy to quickly drop excess water. Carbs are stored, well, it's not common, it's common in my company, it's not common anywhere else actually. Carbs are stored in the muscles and liver as glycogen, but glycogen also pulls water inside along with it. For every gram of glycogen you store, 3 to 4 grams, which is 0.11 to 0.14 ounces of water, may be stored with it. So if you're eating white starchy carbs, okay, I really want you to get this, guys. If you're eating white starchy carbs, yes, pump the muscle full of glycogen, and they pump the liver full of glycogen, and then everything else goes to fat store. But for every single gram of glycogen you store, you're pulling in 3 to 4 grams of water. So let's say you eat, just for argument's sake, 100, I don't even know if this is possible, 100 grams worth of glycogen. Your body's going to hold 100, let's say it was possible to hold 100 grams worth of glycogen. You're also going to hold 300 to 400 grams of water that would not have been there had you not have eaten the white starchy carbs. When you switch to eating beans and lentils, your body gets a slow drip of energy. So yes, it feeds the muscle, but it also burns the glycogen very, very, very slowly. There's very little left over for fat store. So it's not stuffing the muscle full of glycogen. You are like, I move around so much during the day. Like today, I don't even know how many steps I've done, but I literally, before I got to the office, had probably done 25,000 steps because I was walking around the house this morning. I was in the garden, and then I was on the treadmill, and then I was training in the gym, and then I went to ride my horses. And I'm a very, very, very active person. Now, you might be like, well, that's all very well. Good for you, Kim, because you run the company and I have to go to a full-time job. I get it. But anyone, even in a full-time job, if they're sitting at a desk, can stand up and walk more, go out for a walk at lunchtime. The more you move, the more the glycogen in your bloodstream that's coming in from the cruciferous vegetables and lentils and beans is being used up, Okay. So it's not stuffing the muscles full of glycogen and therefore drawing in a lot of water. So if you want to drop a lot of water, cut carbs. In fact, if you wanted to really drop water, say for, 24 hours or 48 hours or 3 days, 72 hours before a big event, or even a week, you could actually cut carbs altogether. Now, not all carbs. You still want to eat green cruciferous vegetables because they are actually a fibrous carb, so they don't, you wouldn't count those, but you could cut like all lentils, all beans, chickpeas, all that kind of stuff, all white starchy carbs, and just eat green cruciferous vegetables, and your body would drop an insane amount of water. Okay. Number 2, drink 5 to 8 liters of water. Yes, you heard me correctly, 5 to 8 liters of water. Here is why. Now, this is a 48-hour strategy, by the way. I'm not saying you should do this every single day, just to clarify. Drinking 5 to 8 liters of water for 48 hours will cause your body to go into flush mode. It will also help to move along anything stuck in your digestive system. Water promotes good digestion by keeping the intestines moist and the contents moving briskly, which prevents bloat, causing backups and constipation. Eliminating all soda is one of the healthiest things you can do and one of the most helpful in terms of bloating. So let's talk about your body flushing. So what happens whenever you drink a huge amount of water, and how you get through 8 liters of water in a day, by the way, I've done this loads of times, is you set a reminder on your phone to drink 500 milliliters every hour for 8 hours. Oh no, sorry, every half an hour for 8 hours. So I used to set a timer on my phone to go off every 30 minutes. When the timer went off, I used to fill up my next glass of water, 500 mils of water. It's just under a pint of water here in the UK. So it's half a liter, right? So you would fill up your half a liter, you would set it on the shelf, or you would have a bottle with a liter in it. And whenever the timer goes off, you pick it up and you glug, 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 and you down it and it's gone in one go. That's the fastest way to do it. You do this every 30 minutes for 8 hours, between the hours of say 9 and 5, right? And that's all you have to do. When you drink water like this, now obviously you can start with 5 if you want, okay? So you'll be starting much less. Just, choose your heart. Whenever you drink water in this way for 48 hours, your body, after about 48 hours, starts to go, oh my God, after about 24 hours, your body goes, holy shit, there's so much water coming in here. We need to quickly drop water. We don't want to hold any excess water because there's so much coming in. We're not going to be able to get rid of it. It's like a flood. So your body, once it starts realizing after 24 hours that all of this water is coming in, it starts to drop water. It starts to go, right, we don't need water in our cells, and we don't need water in the muscles, and we don't need water in the digestive system. We don't need water anywhere. So it starts to drop water as fast as it possibly can because it doesn't want to flood the body, and it realizes there's so much coming in, there's no need to store it. So just so you know, as an FYI, the less water you drink, the more bloated you will be, because if your body cannot depend on you to give it the water that it needs to get through its daily functions, it will store water because your body knows exactly what it needs to get through its functions. Okay. And like your eyes are water, like, whenever you cry, that's water. Like your saliva is water, your urine is water, your digestive system's water, your skin is water, your sweat is water, everything is water. Your body knows how much it needs. And if you're not giving it orally to your body, it will hold on to whenever it wants. Whereas if you're giving your body 3 liters of water a day, which I routinely do, your body doesn't hold on to any water because it can trust you to give it what it needs. So once you start to flood your body with loads of water, your body starts to drop water really, really quickly. And then after 48 hours, whenever you go back to drinking water normally, you're good, you're 2-3 liters a day, your body will still continue to drop water for about the next 24 hours because it won't know that you've stopped drinking. Right? So it goes, oh, the water's still coming in. And so it will still continue to drop all of that excess subcutaneous water. And so you will stand on the scales about 5 pounds lighter. It's astonishing how it works. You can really trick the body. Whenever you know how to work with the body, you can really trick it. So that's a really, really good technique. Okay, number 3, exercise every day. You should aim to do a minimum of 30 to 60 minutes cardio per day. That is vigorous enough to make you sweat, make your sweat, typo there. When you sweat, you're also eliminating toxins through your largest organ, which is your skin. Yoga, especially twisting poses, has been shown to increase the output of bile from the liver, which can enhance digestion and decrease bloating. It also releases trapped gas before it turns into bloating and massages the ascending and descending colon, moving things along much more efficiently. You need to move your body more. You need to aim for 20,000 steps a day, right? 10,000 steps a day is the minimum the government recommends. And you shouldn't trust the government anyway, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Excuse my language. So basically, you just need to move, guys. You need to do vigorous exercise that makes your skin sweat, that makes your heart beat, right? You need to keep moving. I know it's hard in menopause when you can't sleep and you're a bit older now and you really couldn't be bothered, but you're going to have to make yourself, right? If you want to feel better. And if you want to help your liver and you want to get rid of bloating and you want to lose body fat, you're going to have to move more. Number 4, try magnesium. Many people with bloating prefer to avoid medication, but they are open to supplementing with magnesium. Magnesium is an essential mineral and electrolyte with benefits for heart health, bone health, and even headache prevention. When you supplement magnesium at doses of 350 milligrams or more, it has a laxative effect by drawing water into the bowel, just like dairy does. For many constipated people whose kidneys work well, taking 400 to 800 milligrams of magnesium in the evening is the extra push they need to get things moving in the bathroom the following morning. Just 1 second, I just want to check. 6 p.m. Oh, excellent. Sorry, I went on too quickly there. I was distracted because my director of ops was messaging me and I just wanted to make sure it was nothing to do with the masterclass before I moved on. So magnesium, it is literally the wonder drug. I take magnesium every single day. It's amazing for nerve, for protecting the myelin sheath around the nerve, for muscle contraction and stimulation. It's amazing for your digestion. It's amazing for your skin, your hair, your health, for sleeping. They call it the sleepy drug. Magnesium is literally the wonder drug, and every single menopausal woman should be taking a magnesium supplement. Okay, so number 5, for immediate relief. If you're like bloated, water retention before your period, or if you're not if you're not having a period anymore, you're just feeling like your digestive system is sluggish and you can't move things along, you're feeling bloated, here is my detox bomb recipe. This works every single time. I used to take this whenever I started carb loading for my shows. So what I would do is I would water drop for a week and I would carb deplete, and then I would start carb loading for my shows to pump out the muscles. The minute you went from a very low calorie diet to carb loading, and I'm talking 300 grams of carbohydrates a day, which is a lot, my digestive system started to crap itself, right? It started, well, or not crap itself, actually, started to get like really kind of sluggish. And the minute I started to carb load, I started drinking this 3 times a day. And it moved everything along. And every single bikini athlete that ever says that she's constipated, or I see it on her story or whatever, or they're like, oh my God, my belly hurts so much from all the carb loading, I would always recommend this to them, and it moves everything along. It is amazing for bloating and for moving things. So the recipe is the juice of half a lemon, 1 tablespoon of raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother still in it, 1 tablespoon of raw honey if you're not vegan, or agave nectar if you are. That's just to sweeten it. If you can stomach it without it, you're very welcome to, but raw honey does have a lot of natural enzymes in it, or manuka honey, which is really, really good for you. A pinch of cayenne pepper and 200 milliliters of room temperature water. You can actually have more if you want, or less water. It's completely up to you, but I find that that's the amount that kind of makes it palatable. Sometimes I'll have 300, which is fine too. It just makes it more like a drink. You want to mix well and drink 1 to 3 times a day for 48 hours. You can even make up a bottle of it, okay, and you can keep it there and and drink it and pour it 3 times a day. You don't want to drink it any more than 3 times a day because you don't want all that apple cider vinegar going into your digestive system. But apple cider vinegar is also amazing for breaking down fat in the digestive system and helping to metabolize it. So this is literally your answer to bloating, your miracle in a bottle answer to bloating if you ever just need immediate relief. And I'm going to do a Q&A now because that is the end of the presentation. And I just want to say before we go into the Q&A, thank you so much for joining me this week. I know I'm going to say it again at the end, but literally you guys have been amazing. And I'm really looking forward to getting all your questions now. I'm going to do a Q&A for about another 20 minutes or so. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And hopefully you enjoyed this and I didn't move too quickly through. So let me just turn off my screen and hopefully then you should just be able to see me. Hello, I can see myself now again. And I'm like, so excited during the presentations. I'm always like bouncing around in my chair like a child. Okay. And actually Jamie, my director of ops, has just reminded me that we have an email offer going out to everybody who purchased the masterclass with a 20% discount off the Menopause Shred. We have never discounted the Menopause Shred, and I almost didn't want to because I didn't want to piss off those who had already purchased it, but you know what, we just thought we would give that extra little push for those of you who really needed, who really are like, I want to plan, I want some recipes, I want to explore this a little deeper. you already have access to the Facebook group. And also the people who originally purchased the Menopause Shred got actually 12 live coaching sessions once a week, and to go through it with a group of people, which you guys will have access to the recordings of the lives, but not obviously the lives with Laura, which were an extra benefit. So I was happy to offer the 20% off. So I think that email goes out in about an hour or so. If you want to join the Menopause Shred, it's the same Facebook group that you're in, but the program is phenomenal, if I do say so myself, and I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, let's get to some questions. Solanda got in first, and she says, I have coconut nectar. Is that okay to use? I have no idea what coconut nectar is. I can imagine if it's just a sweetener, it'll be okay. For the detox bomb, like I said, it's just to sweeten it a little bit. It's not for any other reason. So coconut nectar, I'm sure it's absolutely fine. Yes. Let me see. Melissa is asking about the seitan recipes. I already answered that at the very beginning, that Maya is definitely going to do that for me. Lori is asking, how do you feel about minimal sugar kombucha? So yeah, kombucha, it's like, the thing is, so here I always give two answers to things like this, which is if you want to get epic results within a specific time period, like you're saying, I want to lose 10 pounds and I want to do it in 8 weeks, then I would say no kombucha, nothing off plan, stick to the plan, do not deviate from the plan. However, if you're kind of more of a lifestyle change and you are giving yourself time to lose the body fat and you know, build muscle and make these changes, then, I mean, I make my own kombucha at home. So hopefully you make your own. I know you can buy it, but I've never found the bought stuff to be anywhere nearly as good as the home stuff. So the thing about kombucha is the bought stuff has a lot of sugar added to it, even if it is low sugar. Whenever you make it at home, you can ferment it yourself. I do a first ferment in my pot and then a second ferment in the bottle. And by the time you go to drink it, most of the sugar has been eaten by the bacteria, because that's how the bacteria actually thrives and grows, is from the bacteria. So if you're going to if you're going to make it yourself at home, then yes, I would say 1 glass per day is fine. I do love kombucha. It's amazing for flooding your gut with really good bacteria. If you're going to buy it in bottles, I would be a bit more hesitant. So leave it up to you. What about taking probiotics? Yes, probiotics, Valeria, are actually really good, and I definitely would recommend them, especially if you're just getting started on this new journey of eating this way and being kinder to your liver and drinking more water. A probiotic is actually, yes, a really good thing. I don't take probiotics now, but definitely for anyone who comes to me in the beginning with and wanting, you know, to change their lifestyle, or they're really committed to it, I would absolutely recommend a probiotic to get them started. They're not necessary for the long term, but they can definitely be really helpful whenever you're just getting started. Michelle, can you drink that regularly versus just wanting to lose 5 pounds? 100%. I have friends who drink this every single morning since I introduced them to it routinely. So you can drink, if you started your morning with one of these, especially first thing, you're gonna be so regular, and you are gonna notice a difference to your health and vitality and all the rest of it. It is amazing. So yes, 100%. You can drink it every single day if you wanted. Anita, question: have you ever heard of Mighty Maca Plus, or a vitamin called Meno, to help reduce the menopause symptoms? No, I have heard of maca before. It is apparently the benefits of it are amazing. I think I remember taking it, maca powder, years ago, but to be honest, at the minute I take very little supplements. I do take magnesium. I get supplements from a company called Persona, so I actually have them tailored to me, and they come in little packets, and I take one in the morning and one at night. It's expensive, but it's a really easy option. So I don't actually take any other supplements at the minute apart from that. And that's just because I'm not training for any specific goal or for the stage, and I do feel super healthy in my body and nothing feels like it's lacking. So occasionally I'll take a liver supplement. I love Herb Farm, Herb, PHARM, like pharma, Herb Farm liver tonic. You can buy it online. It is an amazing liver tonic for your liver. It's all natural herbs. And I do take that occasionally, especially if I've had a couple of drinks the night before, because I do love some alcohol, and I will take that. But apart from that, I don't take any other supplements. I would be wary of menopause supplements that claim to alleviate menopause symptoms. A lot of them are just based on adaptogenic herbs. Now, adaptogenic herbs are great, but a lot of them are simply a marketing ploy, I have to be honest. Eating the way I teach and changing your diet and your exercise and drinking more water will do far, far, far more for you than any supplement, I can promise you. Thoughts on cashews? I make my own cashew yogurt. Cashews are very high in fat. If you're making cashew yogurt, you're going to be consuming a lot of calories. Is it healthy or better than dairy? 100%. Is it still, you know, high fat? Like I know you're probably saying, but it's fermented, it's yogurt, it's good for the gut. Yeah, it may be, but it depends on what your goal is. Whenever people ask me for my thoughts on something, I always say, you know, well, what is your goal? And they're saying, well, I'm trying to shred body fat. Well, then stay away from the cashew yogurt unless you're doing your macros every single day and you are eating on a specific calorie deficit for your total daily energy expenditure, and you have it all mapped out, and cashew yogurt can be part of that, great. If you're just trying to change your lifestyle and introduce the Shred principles that we teach, then probably no, cashew yogurt is not going to feature on that. So you just have to understand what you're going for, and then you can decide based on your goal. Natalie, this has been very interesting and helpful. Thank you, Kim. How often can you do the 48 hours? If you're going to do the water flush, you could actually, you know what, you could do it for like 6 days in a row. If you wanted to, you can drink 8 liters of water for 6 days in a row. I frequently do that whenever I was on stage. However, I probably wouldn't do it more than about once. I mean, if you're going to do the 48 hours, I wouldn't do it any more than about once a month. Once a month isn't going to kill you. It's actually going to be good for you. But experiment with your own body and see how you feel. But once a month, but you shouldn't need to do it. Well, see, once you start changing your lifestyle, you shouldn't. I never need to do that anymore. It's only as kind of a strategy that I really want to. I love people. Whenever people are getting started in this journey, I love giving them a strategy like this so that they can try it and go, holy shit, like my body's retaining so much water because look at how different I look. And then that really helps. And people love short progress, or short results. They love to get really quick results. And then they go, God, I'm going to stick at this. This is motivating. So that's why I give these kind of drastic principles. I mean, do you need to do the 48 hours? Be better if you did it over the long term. You didn't have to do something so drastic. I'm just giving you these kind of hacks that you can try if you want to, but it would be better if you made a lifestyle change over the long term. Anna, what type of magnesium is best? Magnesium tablets, magnesium powder. You can take magnesium in any way you want. You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it anywhere, okay? So any type of magnesium you get your hands on is totally fine. Maureen, surprised that there was no mention of HRT. What do you think of HRT, Kim? Well, it's not something I have any experience. I have never researched it. So a couple of people have asked me about HRT. It's not something I've researched. It's not something that I am probably going to research at the minute. It's a very polarized subject. There are, here in the UK, it's like it's free. They give it to you on the National Health Service. So if you want HRT, it's like, yep, give her HRT. Like it's very common here. People take HRT, but there's a lot of bad press about it, like it causing breast cancer and that kind of stuff. I don't know how founded I don't know how much is based on anecdotal evidence, how much is based on scientific evidence. So whenever something is a real hot topic like that, I generally tend to stay away from it because I'm not a doctor, and I definitely don't want to get in to start recommending hormone replacement therapy for anyone. That's definitely something should be left up to your healthcare provider. So I would, but I am the diet and exercise and the shredding expert, so I can absolutely teach with a lot of authority on that subject, but I definitely couldn't teach HRT with a lot of authority, so that's why I stay well away with any authority, actually. Deborah's saying, I was using monk fruit sweetener. Would honey be a better alternative, at least while I transferred to less sugar? Yeah, I mean, probably honey. Well, if you want to look at, you know, benefits you're getting for the calories, then I think monk fruit sweetener is actually 0 calorie as far as I know, so that's totally fine too. Raw honey, and I know a lot of vegans don't eat honey, but I actually do. Well, I don't, because I don't really like honey, but I wouldn't not eat it if it was in something. So, but raw honey or manuka honey would be best if you're looking for if you want to really get the enzymes from it, which are really good for you. Otherwise, the monk fruit sweetener is fine. M. Yarnell is saying, I want to know what you eat on a daily basis. So my diet never really changes. Every single morning I have scrambled tofu with a massive amount of spinach on the side, or sometimes I have some kind of seitan sliced with spinach on the side. So always a lean protein and spinach. I don't have any carbs. And then I come into the office. So I give them a whole day. So I get up in the morning, I wake at about 6:30 usually, get on the treadmill anywhere between 7 and 7:30. Sometimes not even till 8 o'clock because I do lots of stuff on my phone before I get up. And then I walk for about an hour, say between 7:30 and 8:30. And then I eat breakfast, which is always a lean protein such as seitan or tofu, usually seitan or tofu, and spinach on the side, big massive mound of spinach. And then I go train in the gym for 60 minutes. And then I either ride my horses or I come to the office. And at 1 o'clock, my chef, Maya, my assistant, goes and picks up my lunch. And it's always some kind of lean vegan protein, again, such as seitan beef or seitan pork or seitan chicken, which my chef has made from scratch. With some kind of salad and a bean or a lentil. So there's beans or lentils prepared in a certain way with an enormous amount of salad on the side, and that's lunch. And then I don't eat again until dinner, and I go home and we have dinner usually around 5:30 or 6, and dinner is for me always, again, some kind of lean protein with a massive amount of green cruciferous vegetables or salad, or like we have a chef at home, so he cooks the most beautiful food, but he cooks all the carbs and stuff for the kids. You know, they have the rice and the potatoes and whatever. So he'll always do like a kid meal and an adult meal. And Ryan's and mine is always lean protein with loads of vegetables and salads. And sometimes I'll have, you know, a bit of the carbs, but not always. Or he'll do like crushed potatoes with lemon juice and vegan butter and parsley. And sometimes I'll have like a spoonful of those. They're beautiful, but mostly I stay away from white starchy carbs. I'll always have beans, lentils, and cruciferous vegetables. And that's really it. And sometimes if I'm hungry, I'll have a couple of pieces of toast before bed, white toast. 2 pieces of white toast, but that's because I can afford the calories because I'm extremely lean, and 2, because carbs helps me to sleep whenever I go to bed, and 3, it's just super convenient to just buck a couple of pieces of toast in the toaster, and I haven't found that it has affected me in any way because I'm already super lean and I do loads of exercise during the day. But whenever I'm shredding or dieting for a show or for a vacation or whatever, before I go to bed, I will have 2 scoops of the Wonder Shake, the vegan Wonder Shake from the Protein Works. If you put in the code TSV50 at checkout, you get 50% off the entire vegan range, the Wonder Shake from the Protein Works. I will have 2 scoops of that blended with ice and water, or a little bit of soy milk and water before I go to bed. And that's what I will, not soy milk if I'm shredding. That's what I'll have if I'm shredding. So I eat 4 times a day or 3 times a day routinely, sometimes 4 times a day. And the secret is whenever you eat this way, whenever you eat the way that we teach in the menopause program, you're never hungry. So you're eating, there's no portion controls. You're eating so much food that you can easily last until your next meal, because your blood sugar isn't going on a roller coaster. It's not going up and down and up and down. Your blood sugar is staying very steady. So you just don't feel hungry until it's actually time to eat again. And that's the beauty of it. Are canned beans and lentils okay, or should we get the dried form and cook them? Lori, no, canned beans and lentils are okay. No point in making your life even harder than it is. Kelly, do you really poop 2 to 3 times a day? Kelly, I'm going to let you into a little secret, right? See, every time I go for a pee, and I'm pointing to the bathroom, every time I go for a pee, I poo. I poop every time I go for a pee. I'm not even kidding. Just a little one slips out. Far too much information. But I'm not even kidding. Like, I honestly, sometimes I can go to the bathroom. Like, I go every single morning routinely, for the biggest amount of the day. And then I would probably go about another 4 to 5 times. I would say easily 6 times a day. That's how fast food moves through my digestive system, all perfectly formed. Now, not like the length from your wrist to your elbow every time, right? Not like, it can be like, God, if you really want to get into detail, it can be this size, it can be this size, it can be this size, but it all comes out. There's nothing hangs around my digestive system, which is why my hormones are so balanced, which is why I'm so healthy and vibrant, which is why my body can process alcohol, which is why I don't have any of the issues that other people have, which is why my body burns fat, because I keep my digestive system healthy with the food that I eat. It's all about the food that you eat, the water you drink, and the exercise you do. We all know this. We all know this. This is not news to any of us, but hopefully understanding the how and the why, rather than just being told what to do. Eat more good food, drink more water, do more exercise, rather than just being told what to do. I'm telling you why you should do it. And hopefully that helps to make you do it a little bit better. In your 60 minutes of cardio, does this include warm up and cool down time, or do you just go full tilt the whole time? So I'm just walking in my cardio, so I don't need to warm up or cool down. I usually hop on the treadmill at about like 4.3 kilometers per hour, and then I go up after about 10 minutes. I go, I'm ready for a bit more. I go up to 4.5, and then I go up to 4.8, and I stay at 4.8 for the rest of the time. So there's no warm up or cool down. It's just walking, but I sweat like a pig, and I'm burning loads of fat. Is plain or flavored sparkling water okay? Anna is saying. Dash, e.g. Dash, never heard of Dash, don't know what that is, sorry. Or does it have to be plain flat water? No, you do not want to have flavored sparkling water, absolutely not, because they are always flavored with artificial sweeteners. So just learn to drink plain sparkling water, or squeeze some lemons or limes into it, and I swear to God you'll love it. Roxanne, does having had your gallbladder removed affect how your liver does its toxic cleanup? yes and no. So having the gallbladder removed, a lot of people have had their gallbladder removed because they have gallstones or sludge. Gallstones is literally calcified cholesterol. So the one thing we didn't talk about today is your body makes exactly the amount of cholesterol that it needs. You do not need to consume any cholesterol. So your body makes exactly the cholesterol that it needs. Now, how your body gets rid of cholesterol is through the bile salts. But here's what happens when you eat cholesterol from animal products. Whenever you eat cholesterol, you have a cholesterol buildup in your body. So your body literally cannot cope with the cholesterol that you're eating. If you eat far too much cholesterol, and like we always imagine like a big fat man, if you eat far too much cholesterol, and people think, well, I don't eat that much dairy, I don't eat that much animal products, but every day they're putting butter on their toast, they're cooking with butter, they're putting milk in their coffee. People wildly underestimate the amount of cholesterol they actually ingest. So if you have too much cholesterol, what happens is your body dumps it all into your gallbladder, but if there's too much of it, your gallbladder gets overloaded and sludgy. The cholesterol actually thickens the bile salts. And then what happens is they calcify. So gallstones are calcified cholesterol. So anyone who's ever had problems with their gallbladder has been eating or drinking too much cholesterol. So that's why vegans never have problems with high cholesterol. Like I don't know one single vegan that has a problem with high cholesterol. My mother-in-law has high cholesterol and she keeps telling me it's hereditary. And I'm like, it's not hereditary. You may have a propensity for high cholesterol. That may be hereditary to have a propensity for it, but having high cholesterol is not hereditary. It's because you drink and eat too many dairy products and meat products. And she's like, no, 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 but I hardly have any. And I watch her pour her milk in her coffee, and I watch her spread butter on things, and I watch her eat dairy chocolate. I'm like, all those little bits are actually adding up, and you're eating a lot of cholesterol. So it's shocking what cholesterol does to your body. So to answer your question, does it affect the cleansing? Not really, because instead of it going into the gallbladder and being released in one big go, it just drips continually into the digestive system. So yes, you're maybe not getting the full digestive experience that you could have whenever you eat a meal, but whenever you eat the way we teach in the menopause program, you're actually eating a lot of fiber, so it's constantly moving through the digestive system. It's not like you're eating a big massive meal and it's all moving through in one go, so you shouldn't have any issues. And to be honest, a lot of people who've had their gallbladder out have exactly the same issues or worse even after they've had their gallbladder removed, which is really shocking. I hate the way they just whip out the gallbladder like you don't need it. You do need it, and it's actually you can actually clean up the gallbladder by cleaning up the diet. So I'm sorry that you've had to have yours removed. I'm not sure why you had to have it removed, but no, it shouldn't cause you, if it hasn't caused you any issues by now, it shouldn't do. Lisa, do you recommend having your hormone levels checked now and then? If so, what's the best method, saliva or blood test? To be honest, I get a full routine blood test once a year just to check that there's no cancer growing in my body, or I'm not suffering from any kind of disease that I don't know is there. Part of that is hormone profiling, but to be honest, I've never paid much attention to it. I do think though that data is a good thing. All data, having as much data as you possibly can about your body is a great thing. I would imagine that a blood test would be better, but I'm saying that because I just can't imagine how you would be able to detect the same amounts in your saliva as you would in your blood. But yeah, I mean, all data is good data. If you want to get a blood test done at your doctor or at a health center, then I would definitely recommend it just so you have that data. But if there's no problem with your hormones and you're feeling good, then I wouldn't imagine this necessary. Sarah, I'm trying to slim down and tone up for my wedding in 30 days. Is there ever too much exercise? I do weights, then 30-minute walk, then 60 minutes hot yoga a few days a week. Is that okay to maintain muscle? As long as you're still lifting weights, then you'll maintain muscle. If you stop lifting weights and you do walking and yoga and cardio without lifting weights, then no, you won't maintain muscle. Your muscle cells will shrink. The thing about muscle cells is though they don't die, they just shrink. They shrink into myonuclei. So if you ever start training again, they'll just blow up again. So you don't ever have to worry about losing muscle. It'll just shrink and you will look smaller. But if you continue to lift weights, then you won't lose muscle. You'll be totally fine. And no, there isn't, in a short space of time for like 30 days, there isn't ever too much thing as too much exercise. Get out and move your body as much as you possibly can. Kelly Robinson, is it a good idea to do a liver cleanse before starting the Meno Shred? No, there's no need, because the Meno Shred will cleanse your liver. So it's kind of like a double whammy in one go. What kind of magnesium citrate, or yeah, magnesium citrate is fine. Any type of magnesium is totally fine. Just grab a magnesium, start loading it up, and notice the benefits. Let me see. Just a couple more questions. Rochelle is asking, she says, I I'll just do it very quickly. The question's disappeared. You said you purchased the Menopause, but you didn't get the live access to the live sessions. They were in the Facebook group, and so we posted graphics every single week in the Facebook group. We pinned them to the top. We said it's a live Q&A. Laura did it. You can find them under guides if you want to go back and rewatch them. But we sent out an email notifying you at the very beginning when you purchased, and then we also posted in the group every single week. So we can only depend on people, you know, being in the group and being active and seeing the information we're posting, but they are under guides if you want to go and rewatch them. Couple more questions. Is there a faster way to get rid of fatty liver? Nope. You just have to, yes, there is. Do more exercise, drink more water, and eat less food. Getting rid of fatty liver, your body will burn fat in your liver in the same way it will burn fat in the rest of your body. Okay. As you lose fat in your body, you lose fat in your liver. How bad is coffee for the digestion? Coffee's great for your digestion. Coffee has a natural laxative. So the first thing, if you drink coffee first thing in the morning, quite often acts as a laxative and you need to go to the bathroom straight away. Coffee is recommended by bloating doctors for anyone who's not bloating, for constipation by doctors. So if you ever suffer from constipation, coffee is a great thing to move it on. Is non-caffeinated herbal tea, Diane is saying, with nothing in it count as water? Yes, that's totally fine. Non-caffeinated herbal tea is absolutely fine. Roberta Miller, will normal sweating during excessive heat help eliminate toxins, or doesn't need to be associated with exercise? It needs to be associated with exercise, because when you sweat, you're only sweating out water from underneath the skin. But whenever you do exercise, you're actually ramping up your entire metabolism. So your body, because the blood is then flowing through your body and it's flowing faster through your liver, and your liver is then having to work into overtime to clear everything out of it and dump it into the digestive system. Then you're pooping more. So sweating during hot weather isn't going to do the same thing. Although it will help you get rid of water weight just under the surface, you may see that you look leaner, but it isn't going to help to detoxify you. Guys, we have like another 300 questions here. There's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to answer them all. So what I would love for you to do is to go to the Menopause Shred group. One has just caught my eye, actually, by Casey Gartner. So I'll have to read this out for anyone thinking of joining the Meno Shred. She says, the Shred group has been amazing. I have lost 15 pounds and I'm down to 26% body fat. That is amazing. Congratulations. Then she says, what's an ideal body fat percentage? You want to be below 23%, really. In order to be healthy and not have fatty liver, and especially if you have good amount of muscle, you want to be below 23%. I'm about 14% currently. And I've maintained that now for a couple of years, and I love being really lean. I find this to be super healthy for my body. Don't forget, the lower your body fat, the more your body has to work to metabolize everything, because you're not just a big fat lazy mess. So the lower the body fat, sometimes you never want to be emaciated, but lower body fat is always better for the body, because your body isn't having to deal with a whole load of extra fat in your liver and toxins coming in and excess food and whatever else. And so quite often the two don't always go hand in hand, but lower fat is always better. Guys, you are the best. This has been the best 4 days I have had in such a long time. And I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here with me this week. It is truly an honor and a privilege to teach this information and to have so many incredible women here with me, like wanting to learn. You've no idea how much I love teaching. Like this is to be able to put information together and then explain it in an easy to understand way that helps women is just like, it's just the best thing ever to me. And do you know, we have sold more than 180,000 programs in 5 years. When did I start? 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, 5 years. 5 years, 180,000 programs in 5 years. That's how big the Sculpted Vegan is now. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to share it with you guys. So I just wanted to say thank you once again. Truly, without you, there would be no me, right? I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing and teaching all this information if it wasn't for you being here, spending your hard-earned money with me. And I don't take that lightly. I don't take it lightly that you choose to spend a portion of your effort. Money that you earn is literally a direct result of the effort you've put in. So you've basically worked so you could be here with me today. And I would never take that lightly. I think that's absolutely amazing. So I just want to say thank you so much. So guys, we're going to send out the replay later on as soon as it's up, hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning. You're going to be able to watch all of the replays. They're all on the same page. If you haven't gone there already, for anyone who's just joined, you will be getting the email so you can watch the first 3. I hope that you loved this as much as I did. Please go back and listen to it many, many times to really digest the information. I've decided to give you the screens as well, or what do you call it, the slideshow as well. So they're all going to be there on the replay page, as well as there is no PDF download for today, because I only just decided to change what I was going to teach this afternoon. So I literally, the slideshow you've just seen, I literally wrote it at 2 p.m. today, which was 2 hours before we started. So, but you won't need the slideshow is so comprehensive, you won't actually need a separate download. So make sure that you download the PDF of the slides and go through them if you want to go through the information again in written form. Okay. Sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much to my amazing team who are here as well, who have been here, Maya and Rachel and Becky and Laura and Jamie over in America, and all of the coaches who have been here as well, Joanne and Laurie and Jenny and Philippa and Vanessa and Lee, and am I missing anyone? Christine and Jonathan. I hate calling them all out because I can never remember everyone's name off the top of my head. People are like, she didn't say my name. So all of the amazing coaches, thank you for being here as well and watching all these and sharing all your knowledge with everybody. And now I'm just talking for the sake of talking because I don't want to say goodbye, but I'm gonna have to say goodbye. Okay, see you all soon. Take care. Have an awesome weekend wherever you are. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.